than 6,000 monasteries and places of worship are said to have been looted, desecrated and destroyed in what the Chinese call the peaceful liberation of Tibet. Within the last few years, the Chinese have dramatically increased political arrests and prison labor.
Tibet is a theocracy. That is, a country whose ruling elite are dedicated to religious rather than political teachings. The most important person in the ruling hierarchy is the Dalai Lama, who is reincarnated into different bodies over time, and is trained from an early age to respect and understand teachings of the spirits of previous Buddhist masters. The second most important ruler of Tibet is the Panchen Lama. When Communist China invaded Tibet, they kidnapped the young Panchen Lama and replaced him with a Chinese child imposter. The third most important person in the theocracy of Tibet is known as the State Oracle. Tibet was a free nation. Elaborate ceremonies would be performed at the Potala Palace in Lhasa, where the oracle would dance himself into a frenzy, inhaling the fumes of pungent incense from semi-hallucinogenic plants. Tibetan monks would chant a hypnotic series of mantras and offer prayers to the spirits of previous ruling kings of Tibet. The oracle allowed his entire body to be possessed by spirits, who would then prophesy future events. According to 18th century theosophists and Eastern mystics, Sanat Kumara is the name of the spiritual logos of planet Earth. The spirit of Sanat Kumara wells up from underground at certain places on planet Earth, most notably in a mythical place in the Himalayas known as Shambhala. Shambhala is one of two teaching centers where the enlightened spirits of humans, otherwise known as Buddhas, gather to teach and pray for humans and all living things on planet Earth. In 1939, Heinrich Himmler, godchild to Prince Heinrich of Bavaria and second in command to Adolf Hitler, sent an expedition to find Shambhala and capture the spiritual forces there, entrapping them forever to serve the evil agenda of the so-called master race.
1970s, the skeptical magazine Fortean Times claimed a man had faked an archaeological artifact which had supposedly been discovered in Nepal. The famous Lolodoth plate is meant to be nearly 9,000 years old and shows a disc-shaped craft with a small alien-type creature standing beside it. This controversial item is either a fake or one of the most obvious warnings from the past that aliens have visited the Himalayas. On the opposite border of Tibet stands the Bayankara Ula mountain range, which separates Tibet from communist China. There, small skeletons with oversized skulls have been found. The tribes in the Bayan Mountains have a detailed mythology involving star beings crash-landing spaceships in the distant past. Chinese archaeologist Chi Pu Tei conducted an expedition to the area in 1938 and discovered caves which had carved pictograms showing star charts, the moon and the earth with dotted lines showing the orbits of planets. Jade figurines have been found in this area, which display a remarkable similarity to the grey aliens reported worldwide by millions of people. The small skeletons with alien-shaped skulls were discovered in 1938. The skeletons were in graves on the floor of caves, which had walls covered in star map pictograms. The graves were laid out in geometric lines. Amongst these graves, hundreds of circular stone plates were discovered, which had spiral etchings on them. Each stone disc was approximately 9 inches in diameter and had a fine groove spiraling out from the center to the rim, making each disc look like a prehistoric version of a modern vinyl record. In all, 716 stone plates were found. These became known as the Dropa stones. In 1962, Professor Sun Nui at the Academy for Prehistoric Research in Peking translated the engravings on the Dropa stones. The history of local tribes were inscribed on the Dropa stones, which claimed that 12,000 years ago, aliens crash-landed in the Bayan mountain range. This was apparently one of the least successful alien invasions, as, according to the Dropa stone legend, the aliens were killed by local villagers because of their non-human appearance.